anti-Devil Jin guide. I've only made the King so far, but I will say that I feel like everything else King and your character need to have magic knowledge on other people's characters, or like what's the word I'm looking for? Matchup knowledge. Not really in depth, and or good offense. Right? You need to have like both of those. Well, one or the other. One has to be stronger than the other. You can get by to Tekken King just by doing offense, but knowing certain characters' weaknesses, knowing what they can do, generally makes it a hell of a lot easier. It's the same feeling you get when you fought a Zafina or Leo, where you don't know what they're doing. You're just like, bro, I don't understand. All right, so I'm gonna go through and explain at least the major points of what to expect from Dojin. I guess the easiest to be with a stance. So I'm gonna clear up all of this stuff in my face because I don't like having any of it. I'll keep the health info up. And then I'll just keep. Alright, I'll just keep mine up. Alright. So, the first option we're going to cover is... Wait, is it not there? Oh, that's actually weird. Okay. Oh, no, it's there. It just wasn't turned on for some reason. And the best way to use this, in my opinion, right, if I were to train the bot, is whiffing. If someone whiffs in your face, right? So say, play your spacing, you can use it as a tool to get in, right? That move has too much forward momentum. Something like this, yeah. Like they can whiff all the time. If someone whiffs in your face, you can like backdash, make it whiff. If I could ever make it whiff. I'm trying to find, because there's definitely like, fuck it, I guess we'll do the basic ones. If like they whiff like a down forward one, right? If you react fast enough. Does that not count as a... There you go. To get the actual whiff punished, you have to be pretty quick. Alright. So this move doesn't have that high of recovery. I'm trying to find a move with like very high recovery. I guess the easiest example is like this. Right? Because it has like a high amount of recovery frames. You can chain. It's weird. I'm trying to figure out the... Oh, I guess something like this. That has no range. So like when they do this move, you can punish and you'll be plus 16 off the chance, right? Which means you get this guaranteed. Alright. And this isn't meant to be like a how to play Devil Jin guide, obviously. The point is you can easily use this as a whiff punishing tool where you backdash, do this, or use on like this, or backdash a bit, then that. Right? And it's all in the service of making things whiff or seeing things whiff and punishing them for it. Because every time they whiff, and you're at a range where you can do this safely, or they whiff and you do this and you catch them, that's a guaranteed 2-2. And getting a guaranteed 2-2 means at the very least you get a launcher every so often. So if you do this 2-2, guaranteed, like get a heating gator, you can play range, you can play your spacing, and that's why I'm starting off with this, because it has a very, very huge weakness in that its recovery time is so high. So if I do this, it's a high, right? You can step it to the right. Alright, so if he whiffs it, see how I still get the punish? Alright. Which, right. And then another thing is, if, how can I do this? Alright, that's a punish. I'm trying to do it as far away as possible. A little too far. So like you can still punish him even if he does it from kind of far away. Let's try something. I want to see how I can display it. Yeah, there you go. Can't backdash from the range. The idea I'm trying to show is that if you whiff this, there's a decent amount of time just to walk up. I'm recording it. I messed up. There you go. And like you can see here, like it's actually hard to backdash away. Let's say you dug it from full, like from here, you can launch it. All right, and then oh, this is such a bad way of doing this. Back. Yeah. All right, I see. It has obviously far range. Right, see how it misses there? I'm trying to space it perfectly, and that's the hard part. Well, at the very least, you know you can like duck. Because the thing is, if you're being kept out by this move, just walking up and ducking beats it. And it's obviously pretty slow as well. Alright. You can use whatever like far-reaching move you have to get in. You know what I mean? Like there's the punish counter isn't coming up, so like punishing it with like whiff from distance may be harder than you think, or be harder than I think. But it does feel like there's times where I'm getting like blown up because I do this move and they're at like max range and then they like come in and punish it. Trying to see if I can dash underneath it. Oh well. Anyway, the way you would want to beat this purely just the chain itself, besides just being back here and then getting up close and bullying, would be like sidestepping. Alright. For example, you can stop them. But it's 20 frames. The move is 20 frames startup. You can do that. You can do evasive moves, right? Any sort of slides beats it as well. So that move in particular isn't too bad. It can be annoying per se, where they do this. But if they do that, you can walk up for free, essentially. There's something they can do. But I had to cover it at the very least, even though it's not like the most helpful or most advanced things to say about the option, but hey, plus 8 on block, and it forces crouch, right? So what ends up happening when you find like a lazy double gen or a gen who's like a double gen who's not really, I don't want to say not thinking, it's just that he's just not sure what to do, and he's kind of like on the lower end, they'll tend to do this, right? Because to him, this is the safest thing he has. Which is understandable. It's plus 8. It's my turn into my turn, right? Into like my turn. Got it, right? So you can just keep guessing over and over. That's just the technique bullshit, but like that's just how the character is right now. The problem is, anytime a double gen is doing that, he's essentially just risking his life, right? So that's not what I need to do. For example, if you do that, you see, you can float him out of it. And I can't remember the exact frame data, but I know it's you're only plus 11, right? You're plus 11, and because you're plus 11, the move itself leaves enough of a window for a jab to get through. So, for example, if I do, it's 22 frames, so 11 frames. So you could do a 10 frame jab or anything that's 10 frames and beat it. Yoshimitsu can flash. Yeah, like Yoshimitsu can flash it. You can parry within it. It's not really. It's one of the moves where it's like it seems cool on paper, and then you're really just opening yourself up to getting like floated. You know what I mean? Obviously, still gonna have a better combo than me because I don't fight Devil-Jins, so I don't know what to. I don't have like a float combo I'm on. Yeah, you get the idea. I will say, something you cannot do, you cannot dick jab. Any sort of trying to dick jab and dick jab this stance is a dumb idea because since dick jab is a special low, right? It's gonna run into an issue where since he's airborne, he's not gonna be affected by lows. So even if it looks like it should hit him, it's not going to. No special low is going to hit him. And that's important because I know a lot of people may like crutch dick jab to try to get out of stance pressure. Just go, no, thank you, right? And like evade as much as possible. But like this entire stance is nothing but mids. You're not evading. It's nothing but like low crushing mids. You literally couldn't use a dick jab if you wanted to, right? Another part about the move, it's not homing. There's like zero stacking, bro. And what else is there? So like besides the fact that you can sidestep, right? I don't know why it didn't work. Give me a second. It's not transitioning me. That's such a weird... And I'm holding forward too, aren't I? Whatever. So, this move in particular is going to be spammed a lot, and if they are spamming this, the best option I'd say would be something like this. Right, you can just use your heat to like once you float them, you could use your whatever combo you want. But if you don't want to deal with the next option, which I'm about to show you, then it's perfectly okay to not jab at all, because the mix-up to this move is 2-2. So Morning Crow 2-2 is, I want to say, it's like 20 frames. It's 20 frames, I think. 15. Oh, I'm so bad. So it's 15. So you actually can't do anything off of a chain. And the reason you can't do anything, because I was thinking like, oh, you can't do anything, but they'd make it so it'd be like interactable with something. Like something could interact with what's the words I'm looking for? Something could interact with the option, but you can't, because if you're -11 and he does a 15 frame move, you would need a 4 frame move to like even contest, but you can't. So there's that. I was thinking like it's 9, so maybe Yoshi could flash it, maybe you could power crash it, but no, like the chains into 2 are actually uninteractable. Right? It's -14 if he completes the string. But if I try to press at all, I can't. Mashing the 1, not working. On top of that you can't press when he's +11, right? And the only way he transitions is to like +11 or with chains manually. So you'd have to react to, if you're seeing Crow manually inputted, you can interrupt it. right? Any stance being manually done, you're more than likely able to interrupt, right? But from the concept of transitioning via, uh, uh, like if you're transitioning via like power crush, plus 11, chains plus 11, uh, any sort of deal where it's like he's transitioning off of a hit, he's gonna be plus 11 or plus 16. You know what I mean? So any of the options that brings him into the stance, he's gonna be plus 11. So you cannot press into this. You just can't. Which is whatever. I personally don't have any feelings about it. I think it's okay. Um, it just creates a situation though where if you don't, I gotta put this. It creates like a mental stack situation where there's the annoyance of this move, right? And you want them to not use it. So then you would have to use like a sidestep or a jab in order to beat it, right? And then that sidestep and jab are both beaten by the 2 option. So now it's just like, which one am I going to do? A or B? Which I can understand how it was annoying to people. I can understand why someone would want it removed. But I personally don't think it's that unfair. I personally don't think it's that unfair. Especially since when you're locked into that position of which one is it going to be, it's if the person's doing the full thing, right? If they do this option and you do nothing, it's not like you just lose the game. Right? It can be really fucking annoying to get hit with a plus frame move. Trust me. And if he does this, he's minus 14, but you're forced crouch. So like, if you're like Devil Jin, Kazuya, Raven, you get a full launch. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he gets it completely for free. So if we look at the move again, it's a homing move, minus 14 if you finish the full thing. Of course, like I said, you get a combo. Fucking do it, right? There you go. Cool. Get a basic combo. The thing about this move is, since it's effectively, like, let's say, you're doing the full string, you're putting your life at risk every time you do it, because you're going to eat a 14, like, frame punish into pressure, when you don't have really good panic moves on Double Jin. You don't have anything you can just, like, throw out whenever you're feeling scared, and not also risk your life again. So it becomes a scenario where it's like, it becomes a scenario, like, I know I said I can understand why someone would not like the stance, or why they would find it annoying, but I personally can't care or find it that bad after labbing and playing the character for so long. Like I can't find it that bad. It's not bad at all. I genuinely can't support the idea that the stance is overtuned or it has like anything wrong with it, because effectively both of the main options being like the opposite of each other is like whatever. And then having the 2 options be loaded with like heat engager, homing, like heat engager, homing, right? And then when you're already in heat, it's a knockdown into a guaranteed kick and or a launcher, depending if you want to burn it. So like, I think having that there is nice. Having that utility there is nice, because there's nothing else that's going to give you as big a reward as that in the stance. And that's also the move that gives you like I don't say the biggest punishment, that gives you the most common punish. So like, you're going to see it all the time. Another way that they make it quote unquote safe. So I think I'm going to do this the opposite way, where I just do the moves. So if we do 2 frame job, there we go. Alright, so see how it has that like little bit of evasion? I have no clue what this is about. I just saw this. Literally just now saw that that was a thing. You probably won't ever get to use it because people are respecting it. And I guess I should cover what respect means. Respect is when someone's respecting the continuation or they're respecting your offense so that they aren't counter pressing. Alright. Let's do that again. Whatever. If I get the wall, I get like 80 damage. But like, you get the point. I get a full combo because you decided you wanted to press at the end. You've taken what is going to be 80 damage when I land this combo. There. You've taken 80 damage because you decided you wanted to press into it. And now you're at the wall too. So this is deadly. This is deadly. This is deadly. This. Right. So like all these tools become way stronger than what they normally would be because we're in this position. What you can do, which you already do, and you just don't realize it because it's simple, like it's just human nature or whatever, it's just how you play the game, is if you suspect that they're going to continue the string at any point, you can just respect it. You can just, I'm not going to press until there's literally no possibility of a continuance, right? Because the move gives up his turn. It's -9. It just has pushback, right? Boop, boop, boop. Now, this pushback and -9 fully gives up his turn, but there's turn stealing moves. So there's stuff like this into this, which is like a step back, this, this, and this, or do all this and this, right? There's things you can do to steal turns. And you can see here the pushback makes it that jabs whip. If I could electric. I'm trying to. Is it? I think it's just an execution problem on my part. Whatever. You get the idea. So like you can do turn stealers afterwards, which then leads to other moves, and it's all about anticipation. But the core idea is that you can respect the string that they're doing, and the problem with respecting the string is if you have to wait for 3 hits to come out for you to press, the person's gonna pick up on that after you aren't pressing into this anymore and go, okay, he's respecting it. 3rd hit doesn't come, go into something else. You're expecting the 3rd hit to come, but it doesn't. Right? He's respecting it, you do a grab. Right? If you're in heat, he's respecting it. You can do that, right? He's respecting it. I can loop into another plus frame move, see if he respects that one. Right, you see what I mean? Where you can just go from plus frame to plus frame because the person's respecting it. And the thing is about this move in particular is this move has several weaknesses. You actually do not have to respect this move. Right, there's this one. And then for clarity, there's this one. Right. So with the first one, which is 314, second hit's a high. So if the second hit is a high, you can always duck it. And the important part to know is that there's literally no move there's no other move that comes from that leg, mind you. Like, there's other moves that use that leg, but from pressing 3 alone, right, there's nothing else that can come from this except the 1. So that means the person has to end their turn here. As far as, like, they have to stop doing the extension. They can't do the follow-up. They actually cannot. I've lost entire games because someone just kept ducking it. So at a certain point, you just have to, like, stop. So they're just going to react to that leg, duck, and launch you every time. Right? So that means this entirety of this is invalidated. Even the mix-up to it, because of the fact. Right? Because of the fact that it's a high. And let's say you don't want to duck the high, you don't want to deal with any of that, or it's just like too quick, you don't think you can react. Sure, there's still more that can be done. So if I have him do it again, right, and you press, you get hit, right? But you can power crush through the last hit. Not only can you power crush through it, if I can do it, you can sidestep. Which means you can do something like this. You know what I mean? So, like, every time I do this move, there's so many holes to it that, like, my opponent doesn't need to respect it. That's not real. You know what I mean? Well, I'm trying to think of a common situation. Oh yeah. It's something like, oh, how did I drop that, bro? I'm trying to think. Oh, I can't really think of a new combo in the moment. But you get the idea where you don't have to respect it because there's so many holes. And then if we do the other one I don't use too often, but it's the other one I'm pretty sure you can't power burst to. And for reference, real quick, if I just turn it to 5 seconds, I think the last hit of this is delayable. So, alright, so you can do quickly, or you can do. See what I mean? So if you're in a scramble, it is worth doing like a delayed version. Alright. So you see you have this mid version which is punishable, right? So when he does it, you can punish it. Thing is, last hit is not size-upable. Right? You get launched. So if you have someone who's sidestepping you, you can just use this version to beat it. Another thing is, it's still power crushable. So the true counterplay to the move after the high is power crush. It's like you did object select both. Alright. But that also means, right, if you can power crush and you can heat burst through it. Alright. And this goes for both of them. Right now we're discussing option selecting, where we just do one thing to counteract both mix-ups, like both of the options. So right, see how you can get big reward by doing one of the correct options. You can get very big reward from what seems like standard poking, right? And it's not like you're making a hard read. You're just reacting to the move he's doing and then doing the option select you have memorized. Whether that's heat burst, whether that's power crush, or whether that be sidestep if it was the other option. Well, that's not really an option select, but you get the idea. And then, of course, rage. And you're probably thinking, like, what does this have to do with the Morning Crow stance? You're all over the place, get it together. The reason this matters the reason this matters is because a lot of the offense from the stance can be beaten via rage art. And I know it's not like new information, but as far as like how stances work, but if that works, that means power crush works, that means heat burst works, right? So that was the one option. If I do the two, it doesn't. So that's the situation you're working with. You're working with, can I disrespect? No, you can't. Disrespect, respect, right? And the reason I'm bringing up the respect portion is you're respecting the continuation of the string here is the same thing as you respecting the continuation of the string here. Because if he does this, you think the other part's coming. You don't see this and don't think the other part's coming unless you have the read that like he's not gonna do it. Because keep in mind, this is -9, it's safe. So technically he gives up his turn. So if I have him attack after two moves. So I do this into this, and if I press, I get countered by -9. But since he's pressing, he gets hit with that, which means if I'm already in heat, I get a launcher for very little risk to myself, and if I'm wrong, I get to go in for another mix-up. So it creates a scenario where if you're respecting someone because they're like +1, +2, +3, you're giving them the opportunity to use a much slower, stronger move on you. So you would have to essentially risk your life to disrespect. So if someone's +1, you're willing to jab. But if someone's +1 in a stance and they have a like a 10 frame option, you're more than likely not going to disrespect, right? Unless you have the read that they're not going to do that fast option then. So this is the part where it becomes read based, where is he going to do that or not? You know? And then if your response is to jab him every time, right, eventually he's gonna do something like that. Maybe like he doesn't have to spin his heat. You get the idea. So, with that being the case, knowing that Power Crush can beat the one option, which is most likely going to be used, Sidestep can beat the one option, Jab can beat the one option. Those two main moves are going to be majority of what you're fighting against. Right? Those going to be the majority of what they're throwing out. Now, there's one other move that, because these are special circumstances. This is like, there's the one branch where you disrespect, there's the two branch which you don't disrespect, and then everything else is like utility underneath, right? Because like the two option is in a league of its own. It's just its own thing. It's either something I can disrespect or the two options. That's how it works. There's several other moves in the stance that you can disrespect, but you disrespect them in different ways, right? Because if you choose the wrong way on that particular move, you get punished for it. So, an example of a move that's gonna get used, but for differing reasons, is Morning Crow 3. It's a special mid, -7, so he can still duck underneath after. Alright, so if I have him programmed to there we go, finally. Anyway, Morning Crow 3 is used in different ways, but it's still 23 frames. So 23 minus 11 is 12. You can still jab it. You can still flash it. Power Crush. All that regular stuff. But what you cannot do is sidestep. You'll get combo. Right? So the same way that Morning Crow 1 has the weakness of sidesteps, this move covers sidesteps. And it's to either direction. And it's like, okay, why would anyone ever use uh why would anyone ever use Morning Pro 2 instead of this? Right? And the honest answer is that Morning Pro 2 shuts down everything. Shuts down stepping. It brings some close range. Because if you do Morning Pro 3, right? You're still in close range, but there's no follow-up. So this has a follow-up, they respect it. I mean, you can stop sidestepping. They respect it, so they're not going to press. Right? So it allows you to turn still, because you can do something like this into Hell Sweep while they're waiting for the second move to come out. Right? There's no follow-up to this, so they feel more comfortable to press. Even like higher levels of like, oh, what is he gonna do? Right? And you're like, oh, they're just gonna know you're gonna Hell Sweep. Well, I could always just do this. Or I could always just do this. Or this. I mean, or this. You know what I mean? Like, there's options. You can do crouch dash into like other things. Right? Today's not my day for other things. Alright. Anyway. The point is, this covers side steps, but it's used for more of a specific purpose than side steps, if that makes sense. Like, using this for side steps makes sense. Like, you can call it out, but you could also just do, like, if you're calling it a side step, you can just do, 2 if all you wanted was them to stop stepping. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And another thing is, since it's a different move, it has different properties. So it has a different result. For example, if after change he sidewalks to his right. Right. After he does that, if I do 2-2, I'm in heat. And this is if I wanted to go like for the full call out, the full reward. I'm in heat. What if I didn't want to spend heat? What if I didn't want to put myself in a situation? Of course, people would be like, oh, why would you not want to be in heat? What if I'm saving heat for later? What if I know it's a character who has a stance that you can use your heat burst to beat a mix-up or option select? I would want to save it so I can use my my heat burst, right? And there's no way to be like, oh, I'm not going to use the heat move. All right, there's no way of doing that. So if you wanted to call out that without using your heat, and also without being unsafe, you gotta remember, if he doesn't do anything and you're wrong, -14. Kazuya is launching you, Devilgen's launching you. There's several characters starting to get good punishes off of that, and it's worse. So like, not only do you lose your turn, not only are you taking damage, but now they're starting their offense. And it was because you wanted to stop them from sidestepping, but you went the full way. Which means whenever you use Morning Pro 2, you cannot use the full move. Because more than likely, since there's no lows in the stance, everyone's just going to stand block. They're just going to stand block. They're not always going to disrespect, right? And they're not always going to sidestep either because they don't want to get hit with this move. So they block the first part, waiting for the second, respecting it. And if you do the second, you're just going to get punished. And if you're not going to get punished, they're at least going to take their turn back. They may be late, but they're going to take their turn back because you were waiting for them to punish you. Makes sense, right? This move gets around that by having the same sort of like idea behind the first part of the move. Because you do the first part of this move because it's safe. And it's not confirmable, right? Like, there's no hit confirming. It's safe. It stops the side steps. It just gives you minimal reward. Like, very, 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 very little reward. In fact, I think even on hit, with Morning Pro 3, you get reward. You get the best part. You get basically, Morning Pro 3 is the beefed up brother of Morning Pro 2 because of the fact that when you do it, you get a launcher. Right, you just get a launcher. I'm not sure why it's not. There. It would breach the wall before. I'm not sure why it didn't do it this time. Maybe I gotta let him walk a little bit. It's weird. That's weird. Maybe Hebrew or something? I'm not understanding why it's not. That doesn't work. That's not a real combo. Oh well, I no longer care. The idea is that you get a full combo. Wait, am I not doing it correctly? Yeah, that's why. I was like, I'm missing so much distance. Why? I'm not doing the full combo. There you go. You get 94 damage. Oh, that was gonna kill me. So, you get big reward if you reach wall and you hit this move and you call out a side step with it, while also being safe on block. Alright, this is completely safe. You can do this to see if they're stepping. Right? This move is, I don't know if they're stepping. I don't know if they're ducking. I don't know if they're disrespecting. I don't know which options they're going for, whether it be Rage or Power Crush, Jab. I don't know. And I don't care. This is my safe mid. This is my safe lockdown mid. You're not doing anything. You're not doing nothing. Alright? And the trade-off being that you lose your turn when you do it. And keep in mind, you do lose your turn, but the other person never takes it. And that's the difference. You lose your turn, and the other person doesn't take it because they're respecting the follow-up. And then, once they start disrespecting, you have the mental game of, am I going to finish it? Because if you finish it, you take punishment. If you don't finish it, you take punishment. That's the mix-up. Like, of, if you don't finish it, it's their turn, and if they catch you pressing, they press, like, because you're -9. They can press anything. They can press damn near anything, any other kind of hitting tools, and you're launched. And then that's the thing where, like, if you know the matchup for Devilgen, and you see that he's only doing the first part of Morning Pro 2, just create a game plan for when you think he's going to do this option, or he's just going to be lazy and go, oh, I don't know what, I'm just going to press the safest option. and just blow him up for it. Simple. Another part of this move that I want to mention is when he's in heat. Of course, it's a launcher, but it's a knockdown. Otherwise, it's a back four. So you're gonna eat around, what is that? 52 damage. You're eating 52 damage, but I have rage on, so it's gonna be a little bit less, right? So if you're eating that damage because of the fact that he's in or he already uses heat bar, effectively the move is like a 52 damage knockdown. Effectively, because if he hits it, right? So it's 52 damage versus 80 or 90, however much this was. You know what I mean? And again, the thing about this move is you can just disrespect it. Right? Everything is disrespectable except for one option. And the only time I'd say that this isn't disrespectable, right, there's only one time you can't. I don't even think there is one time you can't disrespect it, because you can always disrespect with jabs. But I think the only time you can't disrespect is when you get hit. If you're hit by chains, he's plus 16. Alright. 23 minus 16 is what? 23 minus 16. Minus the 3 of 20, minus the 3 is 17, minus the 10, 7. So, it's a 7-frame gap. Meaning only Yoshimitsu can counteract or fight back once he's hit with chains. Right? Only Yoshi can. Raven can hit a parry, but other than that, I don't think there's anyone else with the offensive ability of doing anything under 7 frames. So in that in that perspective, if you get hit with chains and you are not Yoshimitsu with a buffed up sword, or no, because you're close enough for regular, you can't do anything. You cannot. This move will win every single time. In fact, this is guaranteed, because plus 16 into a 15-frame move, right? Which means effectively he has this long of a heat engager, as far as range. This is his heat engager. If he hits this move, Morning Crow is an insane stance on a mediocre character. That's I don't want to say mediocre. He has good qualities, but you get what I mean though, right? Where it's an insane stance where if it's blocked, you have to take a mix up. If it hits and guarantees him a heat engager, but it also has insane range. So that means that almost any time, if you whiff and he catches you and he's in heat, he gets a free combo. You know what I mean? Anyway, the next move is Morning Crow 4. So, this is the part where the stance has 3 good tools. Everything else is it's just there. because if you do micro 4, this is still a flip. Micro 4 1, like 4-1, there's a flip into a +1 little spiky jab thing. And that's good in particular because it is a launcher. Alright. So you can do this, 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 this. You get the idea. I'm not releasing the button fast enough. It's definitely possible. It's just the execution for it is so tough. I did it literally one time. Is it like a perfect input? Jesus Christ. The easiest way after this would be key burst, but I don't want to do that. Fuck it. But like the idea is simple of this move causes you to do a flip, and if they try to press with a slow option, so let's say they do punish, but it isn't something quick, like let's say it's fast med attack. Alright. Well, that still works because the move fucking horrendously slow. Yeah, homing attack. This one's really slow. Yeah, it wasn't even on. Alright. Okay, that still works, even though it's like 17 frames, isn't it? Yeah. So you can see how slow the move actually is if it's losing to like 17 frame moves. I'm trying to find something fucking slow enough to like. This is the point I'm making where it's only gonna catch someone if they don't know the matchup literally at all. Like at all. Because if a 17 frame move is gonna make it, then like everything's gonna make it. You get what I'm saying? Like that's 17. The only thing you would have to do a move so slow that like you assume that I put the controller down. There's no way. There's no move possible that you would have thought to do in that moment that would have worked out that way. Right? Like this is what 30 frames. If you're doing that, you're a dickhead. So like there, it's a counter hit launcher. But you can see how like obviously I had to engineer the situation to work this way. You have to press one late. The pressing late, I can see that happening. That's just gonna happen. But pressing late and with a slow button is crazy. For reference, right? Right? Like the move itself is used a lot in combo structures, so judging it on its merit of a mix-up isn't really fair. But let's say you did want to use it anyway, and just get someone off guard. On reaction, they can jab it. All right, the second part's a high. So even if they don't, right, even if they don't jab you out of it on reaction, mind you, they just using their eyeballs. Oh, flip. No, you don't. All right. They can still duck the high. And you saw me earlier try to sidestep to the left. It tracks to that side, right? But the thing is, no one's ever going to sidestep that move to the left, I mean, to the right. Because actually, does it beat it? That's interesting. You learn new things every day. Cool. So what I'm finding out is you can't press into this because it's 20 frames. Alright. So 20 minus 11, 9. You can't press into it. Which is interesting. I still think that's good. That's very good. There's one issue. I'm pretty sure this doesn't jail. Like I'm pretty sure if you do the move, like I have to do this, gotta press, you can still block. It's not natural. So you get hit by that first part, you can still respond, meaning you can see which move it is and duck. Alright. Like, you know what I mean? On top of that, let's say you let the person do the move first, just in case it's the 2 variant, like 2. You can take the chains and then simply wait for the flip, sidestep. Which means, because he's no longer airborne, you're gonna get full combo. Alright. You get the idea. So that move also this I guess something in particular that's interesting is if you find someone who likes to match, maybe. Right, if you find someone who likes to press, cool. Because like doing 2-2 may not be what you want. This is an alternative. You could do this move. The problem I have is, let's say I make the bot be the one to mash fast high, right? I'm gonna do it after, yeah, the one. You're minus 20 on hit, which means one particular thing. Uh, it means that like literally no matter what, you can be interrupted. So if I go back and I turn the recording on, you win. Actually, for some reason, even though it says you're minus 20, mids don't work. They're not working. None of my mids are working. Even like the fast mid, it's just not working. All right. You can still sidestep even on hit. You can be hit and still sidestep this move. It also means you can visually confirm getting hits, and it forces him into a scenario where he loses. Like if you were to get hit with this, no matter what, you can rage guard. It's on visual confirm. So there's another move that's a mix up to it, right? There's a move in 4-2. Now there's a couple of different. There's like this version that I just did here, and then there's the alternate version in 4-2-1, right? The 4-2 is the main version. Alright, it's the main version. Let me see something real quick, because it's on my mind. How is he getting that? Okay. Just had to make sure. Alright, so the move itself used a lot of combos as an ender. Right? Seeing something like this. Oh, I messed it up. That's on me. Hold on. I'm not trying to think of the combo. This is a basic one. How did I mess it up? Okay, I just do the normal combo right now. I'm not gonna invent a new combo out of the blue right now, which I was trying to do for some fucking reason. All right, so like something standard like this, to this, into the move that apparently I can't seem to do right now. Alright, fuck it, bro. Something like this. There. There's the move. But it's obviously a mix-up of 4-1. So 4-1 is like this. Has obvious windows, obvious timing, obvious stepping. And then 4-2 is like this. And it's minus 27, right? And you'd be like, okay, just finish the string. Alright. I'm trying to do the laser. It's not letting me. The laser part is only on hits. So you have to hit this move to do the laser move. And if you're doing the other one, all of it is launch punishable. Launch punishable. Launch punishable. Launch punishable. If they just block at any point of this, right, it's like whatever. And then another important piece of information is the first part's true. So if you hit 4, 2 is guaranteed. But if you hit 4, 1 is not guaranteed. See how they're different? 1 provides you safety, and in the sense that like you're coming down and getting +1, but it's very, 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 very reactable, right? While for 2, if you hard call out someone's pressing, you do get a combo. Or do you get a combo? No, they can stand back up. So you have to go the full way through. Yeah, you don't get anything. So like you just have to go the full way through to the ending. And it's like, okay, why would you ever use a move that's so risky? I don't have an answer. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have an answer. I don't think I think I used this in my rank up game for Tekken King on accident. I was dropping so many combos. But like, here's the deal. In theory, you could use it against someone who likes to press against you to get reward, but you could get the same amount of reward, if not more, if you just did 2-2, and it was less risky, if that makes sense. Like this is purely here as like a combo tool. Even though it's 20 frames, so you can frame trap into it. It's pretty much only here as like a, what's the word? It's pretty here just as like a combo like tool, which is funny because this move exists, and you can never use it. You can't use it past like. Honestly, I think I'll play a game later and I'll use the move as like a mix up and I'll see what happens. But the thing is, like, if they get disrespectful at any point in time, if they get antsy at any moment and go, I want to press anything like 17 frames or faster, completely wins, including launchers. So something very quickly that I can do to like show you what I mean is if I pull out Raven, and I'm gonna have Raven do a particular move after blocking. This is forward 4, is a 16 frame move, obviously faster than 17, so it should work, right? Yep. Yeah, so I don't know. Like it literally it's quite literally just a knowledge check tool. It's a combo tool actually. No, I forget. Both of those are like very essential combo tools. Like both of those are very important. I would never want those removed, right? And changing them wouldn't really, because if you're using them mainly for combo tools, it's just like I'm trying to display the idea that like you can beat both of those moves pretty easily. So if I do something like program to do I hit, right? So if I do this, one of these directions I think you can sidestep. So no, you can't really sidestep. So like sidestepping doesn't work on it, right? Which is interesting. So we have 2-2, which is anti-sidestep. We have Morning Crow 3, which is anti-sidestep. We have Morning Crow 4, 2, as you're saying, is anti-sized up, right? Because it picks up on both ways. So all those moves have different responses because you can't press against 2-2. You just let it ride. You just let it go. Uh, you can't. You can press against Morning Crow 3, and like that'd be your best way of getting like reward because you can't sidestep. But you can't press against Morning Crow 4, 2. But you can just hold back and get reward. So like for all three of those moves, you can just hold back, and it won't really do anything to you, right? In fact, you'll get rewarded for just holding back. With like the Morning Crow 3, you're +7. With Morning Crow 2-2, you're +14. You get a punish. With Morning Crow 4-2, the person dies because you just launch them. Simple, right? And then the safer approach options, in the sense of like Morning Crow 1 still has its reactability of like you can jab it out. So it's one of those things where like Morning Crow 4-1, if you're able to react to what he's doing, if you're accustomed to Double Jin's animations and like under the defensive aspect, then you can basically turn the entire stance around. Like every time he does it, it's a very big opportunity for you to get reward, while not so much him. Like he has to make a hard read, while you kind of don't have to really. Like let's say Double Jin is doing this mix with this. All you have to do is just, frankly, guess correctly. Guess correctly. Like if he's doing this safe mid, right, you can sidestep. And then if he goes, alright, stop sidestepping. Alright. If you just let him, like every time he does this, you punish him, he's gonna end up doing this. Just in case he's wrong. Which means even if you get hit, he's -1, you can mash. And if you get hit with this, the second part's true anyway. So you can just mash anyway. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, minus one isn't terrible, right? -1 is actually pretty good. It's still basically like basically a neutral, right? -1 is good. Being -9 gives up your turn entirely. So like it's if you get hit by Double Jin's 2, he's being careful. Obviously, factor that into your game plan of what he might do next. But like, don't let him just spam the one in your face, and eventually he's just gonna keep doing this. If you jab him out every time he does one, he's just gonna do this over and over. Which means I'm pretty sure you can parry. I wish I played a character with a punch parry. And I'm pretty sure like someone like Heihachi can parry that. The Kazamos can parry it. Leroy, I'm pretty sure. Clive. So it forces him into a situation where you can parry his safest options, and you can power crush everything else. And that was the kind of play I was getting to in the end, where it's like a guessing game between this, or this. But at the end of the day, it pretty much just boils down to like A or B, like A or B on like the Double Jin side of it, where you can just do power crush and beat all of his options, and he has to like just hold that. So if I do like power crush 1, loses. If I do power crush 4, loses. If I do power crush 3, loses. If I do power crush 2, I win. Alright. And that's it. Oh yeah. There's one last move. So I totally forgot about it because like there's this Venn diagram I have of like the balance and how everything works together, and like, oh, this is, not Venn diagram, that's the wrong word. It's this chart in my head. about how all of these moves work together and how hard callouts can be made to get great reward on intelligence side, and then how you can pretty much mitigate most of the risk with reactions and like power crushing to force him into a certain option, which we can then option select a majority of them with like parry, fly. Like you get what I'm saying, right? If majority of them are interruptible via jab, um, except for like forward, flash beats all of it. And if you force him out, if you force him into the safe option of two, flash beats that too. So like there's levels to the shit. There's a different move that they gave to him, I think season 2, and then it's 1 pro 1+2. It's a power crush. It's neutral and block. Sends you about chain distance. So you can do this into this pretty like easily as far as spacing goes, and he can't jab you. The move is slow. It's 20 frames, so like they can't interrupt you before you complete it. But something like I end up doing, something that I personally end up doing is after like a combo, say you do something like this in the key burst, I fly forward, do this, and now it's a mix of what is the choice he's gonna make. Is he gonna get up? Wake up. Get up. So if I do this, as he gets up, unblockable, and then I can do 2-2 and dash forward. If I'm wrong, so be it. Hey, heat's pretty cheese, whatever. But the idea is that if he presses into it, thinking I'm going to do the heat smash again, he dies. And I mean die. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it actually is just death. Why did that drop? Alright, we're just gonna move him like a little bit closer, and then just stay in this position. There, 97 damage, right? And then as he's getting up, hit this. And here's the thing. If I were to do the combo fluidly, alright. Oh, what? That's so dumb. I don't know why I didn't. Fuck. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm really selling it now. Alright. Cool, use some heat. He gets back up. And then unblockable. And then if the combo like finished, he'd be like tornadoed into a rage art. And that's his entire health bar. there's this weird thing that happens where you have to wait a certain amount of frames to be able to input moves again, right? So you have to wait a certain amount of frames to do this forward 3 into heat dash, right? Or it's just gonna drop. So this is the combo I'm talking about, where you do a combo, bring them to the wall, do an unblockable heat smash, which they're just gonna take because they don't want to press anything. They just took a major combo, and then if they get antsy at all and think, okay, now it's my time, I need to press before he hits me with another heat smash. Instead of sidestepping, instead of ducking, they go, I need to press a button. Then they just die. And if they don't press a button in that scenario, there's this, into this, right? Like, there's options. You can be safe with it. You can even do something like down 4, stuff this. There's like things you can do. There's things you can do effectively after that to win the game, because in that scenario, how much health does he really have left? Oh, I messed up. Alright, here's what? Full health bar? Well, not full health bar. Here's like what? Around 70, 60 health left? Like, there's things like you can do this into this, right? You can set yourself up where at the end of that, after the heat dash, you immediately go into this low, and then you threaten a mix of which one is he gonna do? Are you gonna sidestep? So if I just do this, you sidestep, I press the button, you're done. Right? Respects it. For another thing, you can respect it. Like, it's very tough to defend in a scenario because you just ate a full combo into an unblockable. So you lost, like, I want to say that has to be like 75%. So you went from 200 to 61. That has to be like 75%. Let's see. That's like 70%. You took 70% of your health bar damage, and then you have to get up and guess for the rest of your health bar. And truthfully, you have 50% of your health bar available. Like potentially, if you hit a heating agent, let me move this out of the way. Like, hit a heating agent, but you have 61 health of like that you can actually take in hits. So a single like sweep mix and he's done. So if I do, fuck, I did not mean to do that. Oh, bro, of course I messed it up too. What? Why did it grab? What? There we go. Alright, cool. In this scenario, if you don't press, this does like a fuck ton of damage, and I'm +7 still. So like, you're gonna respect it until something like that. You know what I mean? Like, then it's just like, okay. You get the idea where there's so many opportunities for things to go wrong for you. And then of course like this does chip damage too. So it just makes it an even tougher situation. Especially if like I land a single hell sweep. If I do this, you're dead. So like the move itself is I think it's good for what it is, right? Because if you're in regular state, the damage is like lackluster. It's like whatever, but it is permanent health damage, and then it resets your distance at 0. So like immediately after this, you can start throwing out hitboxes. Of course, the other person may not be ready. The thing is, you just don't have any safe hitboxes to throw out that reach. Because like this whiffs. So like something you could do is like this into backdash maybe, but they're not gonna press. Like in my experience in the lower levels, no one presses after they get hit with that. So you would have to do it over and over again. Maybe backdash and then electric. Electric. Alright. But that might, I'm not sure. Because if they never press, then I think you'd have to assume that they never press immediately afterwards. Because the pushback, you can't really do like a hell sweep. I think there's something else we're gonna have to try. Like we have to try doing a hell sweep. We gotta try doing like a hell sweep after that, so go like this. You know, this move has 2 different versions. The regular version you saw me do, and then this version where you're in heat and it does like this grab animation. It's 40 damage each time, so you can lose half your life off of it. So something like so if you were to do a combo with no heat, however may you do it. Or maybe even like not necessarily a combo without heat, a combo that like doesn't use a heat move at the end. So it'd be something like this. You can use it twice, but then again, you could always use it twice. You could always just... So, like, I'm trying to find an example. Like, you'd have to find a combo where you don't use your heat bar, get your wall carry. Like this combo here, is pretty hard. I don't know why I took you so long to that. I'm trying to think of like something off of this. Alright, that's 70 damage, that's not too bad. Like, I guess it wouldn't even be a combo, because a combo is how you safely go into heat. It'd be like you hit a heat engager, and you were boxing for a little bit, and you just go, oop. Oop. So, like, technically, if you hit a heat engager, you can do it. You can do it a total of, I want to say 3 times or 4 times. Because it does once, right? So that's 3. Yeah, you can do it 3 times in a row. If you do it 3 times, that's pretty much the whole health bar. And I don't like doing it 3 times in a row because obviously someone's just gonna they're gonna duck because it's a high, they're gonna disrespect, they're gonna sidestep, right? What you can do is in moments where they normally respect you, right? And then, of course, doing it back to back also isn't wise. Either it's just like it's moments where you can just go, yeah, he's gonna be standing. Like let's say you do your combo, right? Or even like this, you get your combo in, top heat, alright. You do your combo. Of course, they're gonna be stand blocking when they stand back up, right? Which also means theoretically, you could do something like. If I could land it. Alright, cool. You just. Yeah, so like that goes from like a 44 damage sequence to 80, and then now whenever you do this, they're worried about this coming out, so they may duck more, right? Which allows your 1 to be better, allows your 2 to be better. I think 3 hits crouch. No, because it's a special man, so like no matter how you're blocking it, it's just gonna get blocked. So this doesn't get better, but this does, right? You know what I mean? Like all the tools that are meant for like getting damage in or pressure of some kind just get better, right? If it's not purely a combo tool, then it's fine. But like 2-2 comes a hell of a lot better because now there's a genuine threat of he's gonna do this or this. And if I get caught on the wrong one, I could die. Yeah, nothing negative about that one. You know what I mean? There's a genuine threat of like him doing this into this, which is like what, 39 damage? But it also is like this into this. So like if there's a scenario where you catch him ducking and with this, you could, in theory, do this, that. No, not that one. You can do this, and then do that when they stand back up as a guess. Or another thing you can do is let's have them stand back up. Stand. You do, because he's gonna be respecting you, right? So you can do this into this into this, or no. None of that works. He's gonna respect you here, and because he respects you here, you do the manual transition. You'll be like, oh. You know what I mean? Yeah, my wave dash looks like shit. Whatever. Anyway, that's the counterplay for that stance in a sense. So like, if you really need to make a decision on I need to beat as many moves as possible, power crush ones. If it's hey he's spamming this and or he's spamming this, you can just sidestep them. You can jab them. If he's like spamming this, you can jab him. If he's spamming this, you can jab it. Well, no, I don't think you can because that's no. So like, I think this being 20 frames means on chain you can't jab it. So what that means is there's gonna be situations where you're gonna want. So like, let's say he's been locking you down all game. He's been locking you down all game using, you know, the 2-2 version, so you couldn't press, and you get a hard read. That's well, no, my fault. Wrong perspective. If you're the Devil Jin, because that's the perspective I know it from. If you're facing someone who's been jabbing you a lot, you could do 2-2. Don't get me wrong, and risk your health bar, or you could, in theory, just do Morning Crow 1+2, and like since you're a 20 frame move, -11, you basically just frame trap him. There's no counter hit property, I don't think. I don't think I've ever cared if it counter hit it. Like there's no launcher, right? So since there's no launcher, it doesn't really matter to me if I counter hit it. I kind of want them to be like standing still. That's you use the unblockable as an irritator to get 1 free damage, 2 irritate them, and 3 like condition them to like want to do something. Because the unblockable is essentially just saying you have to do something. Like you have to do something. You can't just sit there and press and like sit still and block all day. So if I do this, alright, it's 40 damage. So basically a throw. So what that means is if I can do this, he cannot interrupt. You get a little bit more damage on counter hit. That also means he's gonna respect it more. Where the thing is, if you catch someone pressing with this button, they're more than likely not. It's not that much damage. It leaves you safe, but it still gives them the game plan of wait later and then just disrespect afterwards. And of course you'd be like, I can take advantage of that by doing 2-2, but then you're still opening yourself up to the possibility of them responding to your, like, anticipating you doing 2-2 by, like, simply doing nothing and then getting the punish. And then the next time they're going to disrespect. You can get around that by going, oh, you know what I mean? Just go, no. You were definitely going to stand because I did 2 last time. And I did 1 the other time. In fact, I'm gonna go play a match. because I feel like I don't use these tools like they're strong tools and are impressive tools. I just don't use them aggressively enough. Right?
Get ready for the next battle.
Oh, is this ranked? Did I queue up for ranked? That's on me.
Get ready for the next battle.
So the whole goal is to use fly offensively and then frame trap with the unblockable.
Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight.
I see. Oh, the connection's driving so badly. What grab would that be? Oh, brother.
Round two. Fight.
He's trying to threaten me with what? Ooh, I really don't care about White before. I actually do not listen. Wipe the floor. I have zero care about. Oh yeah, this connection's
Round
terrible.
three.
I wouldn't be able to react to it anyway.
Fight.
Dude. Yay! Fucking Nina! This is so much fun! This is so much fun! Facing Nina is fun! Facing Nina is so enjoyable when they spam strings in your face. Jab strings at that. That isn't punishable.
You lose.
What's done is done.
Yeah, I'm not fighting that guy.
Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight.
Oh yeah. I can't tell if it's mine or theirs.
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round one.
I accident. Oh, bro, I gotta get rid of those settings. Oh.